up for me lately an awful lot. I think it's because we get older and you want to get more structure in your life. And so I've kind of been leaning into it. So do you remember that movie? It came out in like 1988.
Oh, I do. Yep, Rain Man.
Yeah. And so lately I keep saying to my husband, what was the name of that movie? What was the name of that movie? So now I'm writing it down in my notebook and you know what? I don't want to say I'm living a Rain Man life, but then structure is so important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I can tell you, one grandson is actually autistic,
Uh-huh.
and he's high functioning. Praise God, thank you, Jesus.
Mhm.
But if you mess up his schedule, he is like a structure fella. He's got the plan. You don't need to wake him up for school. You don't need to tell him to make breakfast and make breakfast. He's high functioning, right? He'll get out that door on time so he doesn't miss his bus, everything. But you throw a monkey wrench in that thing and change one little thing. When he was younger, he would have a meltdown. Now he's older and had some therapy. He knows how to handle it. But I guarantee meltdown.
Yeah.
So I get the whole structure thing.
And you know what?
Sure.
So and I'm not in anywhere comparing like autism or whatever. Did you use that word? I don't want to use it if you didn't use it.
Yeah. So you used it for the actor, I think, right?
For Rayman, right?
The movie.
And so a couple of my daughters are like they think that they're like low functioning or high functioning, also high functioning, or this what's it say?
ADHD.
ADHD. I say element of P, and I'm not trying to make fun, but I can't even remember this thing. And so I try and tell my kids, you and I, or I'm speaking for myself, I might even low key have beyond that thing because we weren't diagnosed that there was no such thing when we were growing up. It's sit your butt in that chair and
I like it. Tail up if you don't.
You know what I mean?
Do what I say. Remember, we were do as I say, not as I do. Exactly. Now you have to speak when you're spoken to kind of kids.
Exactly. And everything that happens in this house stays in this house.
And you know what we said? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Just show me the way, right? Because
you understand?
It was either that or go outside and pick your own switch. I mean, that was how there was no pill.
Even though you know nothing about that.
Girl, look, tell me what not to do, and I was there.
Yeah.
I'm your girl. I'm your girl. Just explain it to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, and you know what? There was something else that happened in the media today because I'm not one who watches a lot of news at all. But if it pops up in a news feed, or they may send it over like through if you're subscribed to a certain page. But something happened with I guess some award ceremony in England, and the gentleman had Tourette's.
Oh.
So as the people were in the audience and they were announcing whatever the situation was as they do in award ceremonies, this man yelled out the N-word, and people were like, he has Tourette's. You have to, but like, why would that word like be in your vocabulary? You know what I mean? But they say he also is working on a documentary that has to do with Tourette's. And so that was, hey, what better way to capture an audience and advertise for your movie? So
clearly, it was a person of color that actually been on the stage, huh?
It just happened. It was just, and they were actors from America that had been asked to come over and present these awards or whatever. And yeah, so anyway, that's kind of like trending right now is, ADHD, autism, Tourette's, all those things are kind of, and so people are being gentle as how they approach the subject, but it really is a subject that needs to be, at least tapped into.
Well, I kind of like that because that means that we grew up without labels, right? Which is a good thing.
Right.
But so if you look at it another way, it's also like kind of a bad thing if, for some, some people just need to know what's going on, you know?
Right.
So,
and the millennials and the Gen Zs, they need labels. But sometimes to me, they rely a little bit too heavy on the labels because I'm like, all right, so I know that the doctor might have diagnosed you as this, but if you say that you are this every single day, then how do you get past that? Like, how do you yes, it's a cycle, right?
Change the cycle, and it's also in the atmosphere. You put it there.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You know what I am? I'm a child of the Most High God. And you know what I am? I am perfectly and wonderfully made. Next question.
Exactly. So I'd like to say, because now we are actually 4 minutes in, I'm going to call us Sister Chat because I know that the dynamics of our flow and our talking, we're still sisters from Connecticut. But I think that we're sister chat and we are chewing chat. So that's what I'm going to put in the for pound when I go to.
Although we didn't talk about it, I know this is like your page and such, but we need to talk about what we're gonna call it, because even though I'm your sidekick, I still want a little input.
What you want to call it, girl? What you want to call it?
What you call it again? You call that the sister chat? I want that.
Okay, it's all in the above. Okay, sister chat. Okay, let me see. Did I put it on my piece of paper? Oh, when I logged in, I had already put it in the
notes.
Yeah, in the title, probably in the title.
So did you write down the thing that I asked you to write down, so we'd have something to
I did write down some, but we'll fill it in as we go. But one thing that we wanted to talk about. Do you want to just go ahead, because we just talked about a little bit of autism, Tourette's, mental health. Let's talk about mental health is so important. So
let me tell you. Okay,
we both said let me tell you at the same time.
Okay, so let's just say, and I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget, because it's how I kind of want to say it. But the last 14 months has been really, truly like trying, right? It's like I feel like I'm in a battle, it's just a mental battle. It's a physical battle. It's a financial battle. It's just getting okie doke from left and right. That's what I kind of like to feel like. Some of it's of my own doing, and some of it is not. And I'll just say that it's okay. So I'm going to mute myself for 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. So that's part of my battle walk through.
Was that the maintenance person?
Yes.
Okay.
So can I just say, last month my heater started going clank, right? Which means that you have to have AC. It's my AC unit. My AC, we have I forgot what you call it, but anyway, the AC and heat, all that is like together, all in one. It's not like a big old swamp cooler AC, whatever. It's actually combined.
So start by saying that I live in an older New England house, and your house is 11. That's when things start going, to ish, because it knows that it's been there from the beginning, even if it was a brand new house. And so now it's like, hey, guess what? It's time.
But can I tell you that your furnace is about 30, 40 years old and it's still cranking?
No, we did replace it. It's been replaced, but that's past 25 years. I've already been here 20 years.
Yeah.
So it was only in the last 2 or 3 years that it was replaced. So that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't make stuff like they used to. They don't make stuff like they used to.
Right. So let's say that's another, that's like, X amount of thousands of dollars, whatever for that, right? Because the motor was dead on that. So you had to get a whole new motor after having a guy here for whatever amount of time to try to repeat the same sound. That was what occurred, whatever. So found it. That's the noise I found. And, one whole motor later, I've got a brand new unit up there, but I have 2 units because it's a double story, 2 stories, right?
Uh-huh.
So whenever something happens, it's always a double whammy, God forbid, for some of us. So the other one is still working fine. And I pray that lasts until Jesus comes back. Not realistic, but all things are possible through Christ, right? So the other one I had to replace. So I said, well, I'll put that one on a card and I'll just pay, every month on it until I pay it down. I'll just pay it quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hasn't even been a full month yet. And the water heater goes out. This is not the first time the water heaters come out and I had to have someone come out. This is the second time the water heater's out. Second or maybe even third time.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it wouldn't even come back on with any kind of help, any kind of nothing or other.
Should have flew your brother-in-law out there, him and his son.
No. Oh yes, a whole lot cheaper. So let's just say 13 plus K later on, I now have a waterless water tank, water heater.
I googled that after, and me, I googled it after we talked, and they can be between $5,000 and dollars, and then so it would be like $5,000, whatever, plus a $1,900 installation fee. But I know that if you need it in like this.
Our father, it started out that we had no water. We had water downstairs because there's 2 water heaters, right? But no water upstairs, and our father is upstairs.
Right.
So, and I have a health aide coming in, a CNA coming in, 3 times a week to help me out, and she washes them up, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But no water. I had to boil the water when she came on Monday.
Got
I said,
you.
well, he's getting washed up. It might be a bed bath today, but he's getting washed up.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, and the price was actually 14.5. And I, you know, long story short, I'm like, we got to work something out because this is too much. But before I even went there, I said, just fix whatever's broken. There are 2 items broken, you know, on the doggone thing, and that was like $1,800. So I'm like, okay, that's a lot. Just for a couple pieces, you know, that make, you know, I can't guarantee it's not gonna go out again. So I said, well, what if I just go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy one myself? And he said, oh yeah. He said, yeah, that'd be 1,900. So they charged me 1,900 when they would charge me 18 or 18.50 for a whole one from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a whole piece, just the piece, the part,
Mm-hmm.
and not the whole, you know. But I'm talking about a whole tank from Lowe's. I had to pay it out of my pocket and then give them $1,900 put in. So by the time you do the math, like if the whole thing goes out and it's like $4,000, $5,000 for it, one, and there's no guarantee that the second one won't go out. So they gave me a discount on the second one because the second one's still working like a charm, right? I said, well, what are you going to do? They're going to go back and sell it. They said that pretty much that's like pennies on a dollar for even the one that's working. So ultimately, you know, it's the size of your suitcase going on vacation with our siblings and mom, you know, up on the wall, mounted in the garage. So for that part, oh Lord, I need this phone call.
Oh,
okay. This is the emergency. This is the phone call about them. Okay.
Well, just
so keep talking and I'll come back.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk about, let's see. Did she mute herself? Let me just put myself in the window here. Okay. Until she comes back in. So, wow, a lot of things going on. And the other thing I want to talk about was self-care. Self-care is so important, especially when you're under pressure. There's stress. There's, she's taking care of my father. There's so many different things that you all might be going through as well. And so I'm just saying that you stick to a routine, you know, and that of course, it's easier for me to say that because I'm not in the same situation that she's in. But to wake up, have your prayer time, you know, drink your cup of tea. I've been like learning how to do some small 7-minute exercising in the morning and then do it again before you go to bed. So in the morning, in the daytime, I'm doing these, like what they call it, the really popular thing for people to do now is to do like a Tai Chi walking, is what I clicked on. But there's also an app called Walk Fit. And so I started doing Walk Fit because, you know, I paid for it and then I forgot that I had it. So it's just like 7 minutes or so, 7 to 10 minutes of exercising, which anybody can do anything for like 7 minutes. Just set your timer and they're just, you know, doing things where you're swinging your arms, and that's helping me. So I'm getting a certain amount of steps in before noontime is the goal. And then I'm setting up my own schedule again. Like when I was homeschooling, I had my kids on a schedule. Like, hey, we're going to do our breakfast. You know, we're going to, you know, make sure that we're getting dressed. For me, it's skincare. But for them, it was like wash your face, get washed up, get dressed, and that kind of thing, and then hit your books, start doing your schoolwork. And then we would all pause for lunch. So I had that down to a science. And that, you know, of course, my husband and I were military. So was my sister. She's also a veteran. And so was her husband and my brother. We come from a military family. So that structure was in us. I can't say it's because of the military, because my mom and dad were just very, very structured in that way, especially my mom. So there we have it with that. So I'm waking up now in the morning. I have a schedule. Okay, start to wake up between 5:30, do some stretches, and even planning out my food that I'm going to have for the week or for the day. Take it one day at a time. And so I've noticed that when I, you know, go in and I Google my age, my weight, my preferred weight, we're not eating enough protein. We're not getting enough protein. We're not getting enough fiber. And I'm watching my calories to keep them under a certain total. For you, it may be, you know, between 1,200, 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, just depending on what it is. And if you can either find somebody through your job. I know for us, if you're in the military, you can sign up for a nutritionalist and they can help you to map it out. But nowadays you can also Google it, and you can also go to, you know, my friend, my bestie, ChatGPT, to put all those things in there, and they'll help you to come up with a plan. And so a lot of, like, even my son, I was talking to him yesterday, and majority of them us, my son said him and his friend were talking, they know that they're not getting enough magnesium, they're not getting enough potassium. And those are the things that we weren't really taught in school. Now my kids, they were taught to read labels, to look out for sugar. And the other thing that's very important that I'm noticing is fiber. Oh my goodness. Do you know how hard it is to get enough fiber in one day? Very, very difficult. So us as we get older, I mean, life shouldn't be as busy. My children are now adults, and so now I'm concentrating more on me, and I am making sure that I map out what I eat. I'm not going and doing that hamburger, French fries, American thing. That really has sold us a really bad bag of goods. So you need to have some really good food. So I've been eating salmon and broccoli, and if I can help it, no breads, no pastas, which includes rice, a little bit of quinoa because quinoa is one of those superfoods that has a lot of nutrients and a lot of value in it. So I think that some people like couscous, but there's a lot more benefits, and it's a good grain, super grain, if you go with the couscous instead of rice or couscous. So quinoa is like should be number one on your list. So I'm eating things like that and like no fried foods. And I found that just sticking to a schedule, waking up the same time every day, give or take 30 minutes, whatever. And then that gives me time to set up in the morning because I go live on over on TikTok and I'm reading the Bible. So I am reading through the Bible in 1 year. Feel free to go over and look me up on TikTok. I am NubianQueen TV over there. And, growing slowly but surely. But the whole the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm, just trying to build a Christian community. A lot of people are afraid of like TikTok and different social media, but you're the one that's in charge of your algorithm. Whatever you watch, then they'll give you more of what that is to watch. And I think I hear that it might be different now, but it takes about approximately 2 weeks or so to change your algorithm. So if you stay watching the slow and easy mornings, that's what I'm trying to do myself, is put out videos that have me waking up slowly and, having a nice little espresso, um, and then doing my little stretches, reading positive books, following people who are motivators that are talking about positive things and not people who are talking about baby mama stuff, baby mama drama. So once you reach a certain age, you have to have some more structure in order for us to want to live and to be around a lot longer to see, our children grow up and even participate and be around for our grandchildren, right? So that's my goal. So structure, self-care, also skincare products. Hopefully, once my sister later on this evening, we can get back on and I can show her some of the skincare products. So no matter what, I think from the time I was like in high school, I've always been interested in skincare and not so much makeup either. I mean, I do, wake up in the morning and put on my little what's it called? My eyelashes, not put them on. I just put on some mascara a little bit so that I don't look invisible. And then because I was, blessed with very thin eyebrows, I have to color them in a little bit. You can only see this because I've darkened it just a little bit. Um, so that's what I do daily. And of course, from my grandmother's on both sides and my mother, like I'm not leaving it anywhere without lipstick, even if it's just a gloss or something like that. It just keeps the moisture in your lips. So self-care is also very important. So and in talking to my sister and I know we're calling it sister chat, and she has a lot of emergency things going on today. It's very important to pour back into yourself. I saw something else today where the lady was saying about self-care, make yourself a priority. Because for so long, my husband's in my life. It's been 38 years that we've been married, and this year will be 39. So we take care of our husbands, we take care of the household, we help to raise our children. And in my case, we homeschooled. And so it is time for you to pour back into yourself and not to feel guilty. All right. Let me say that again. Do not feel guilty. You need to pour back into yourself, take care of your skin because it's the only skin that you have, right? Um, and eat healthy. At this time, there's no reason why a person can't eat salmon 3 times a week if they choose not to, if they chose to, right? Get all those good fatty amino acids, omega threes. So yeah, so I'm eating stuff like that, and again, no bread, no pasta, a little bit of quinoa, and then seeking out those things that are high in fiber. And I know I have a list on my phone, and I think everybody should have a list in their phone. So in order for me to get like, we need at least I want to say 15 or more grams per day total. That is so hard. So you can eat an apple, a sliced apple, pieces of apple. So I have 3 meals that are structured for me, and they change a little bit. I don't like to be. I'm not trying to be all over the place. It's easier if I like keep, like some ground turkey all seasoned up with a little bit of quinoa, or and no heavy sauces. So the other day I made spaghetti for my husband and my son, and I didn't use ground beef this time. I just used meatballs. And what I did was I set aside some meatballs for myself. I didn't put them in the sauce. I just set them on the side. And 6 meatballs, which sounds crazy, but 6 meatballs is enough protein for that meal. And then you could have a nice salad and a lot of yogurt. I think that normally I would take the yogurt and things off my schedule, but because yogurt and cottage cheese has a lot of protein, I've been eating a lot of cottage cheese and a lot of protein. I mean, a lot of cottage cheese and a lot of yogurt for protein. So I was just at self care. Oh yeah, I can hear you. You can't hear me?
Uh-uh.
Well, check your mute things. I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. I can hear you moving around and fumbling. I can hear you. Well, go back out and come back in.
Okay.
Yeah. So while she's doing that, so that was self-care. So make sure you have a good skincare products, some good skincare products. And if you don't have one that you know of, I mean, you can buy the over-the-counter stuff, but you know what? You're grown. You can afford to spend some money on yourself. And so the products that I use are Arbonne. And what I'll do is I'll put my my Arbonne website in the notes down there for you. So what I do is I use eye care. I use eye cream under my eyes. I use a creamer for under my neck for my décolleté, and I use a moisturizer, and I wash my face daily. So in doing that, that's a part of self care. Can you hear me now?
Much, yes, I can.
Yeah, I don't know what was the same thing, but I was just saying the importance of self care, and I was saying hopefully later on tonight when it calms down a little bit. I didn't call you yesterday because I know you were still going through a lot, but we need to order your skincare, get some eye care things, and I could just give. I'm going to put my website so other people can also go to that same website of mine and treat themselves, because this is the only skin that you have. And when we take some time to just breathe and remove ourselves from a situation if we can, even if it's just for a few moments. And then I know that you're a prayerful person, so just praying. Sometimes you have to just go. When our kids were little, I knew I would just lock myself in the bathroom and say, just give mommy 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes, So sometimes we have to do that because you have to prioritize yourself. So you'll have to go back and listen to the beginning of what I was saying while you were gone. But it is important. It is important because if you don't put the mask on you first and you don't make you a priority, other people would just keep on snatching our air and snatching our peace and snatching our, all the things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was self-care. And so the story I was going to tell you about, we went to New Jersey to visit my daughter this weekend. And my husband's an excellent driver. But what is it about men about not having people pass you, or you have to stay, and we're in New England, so you got a bunch of older people just wanting to stay in the left lane, like they're going to control. Like we're going to control what the speed should be in the left lane. But you can see people speeding by you, trying to get past you. You know what I mean? So I'm in the front seat and I'm trying to like not pay attention. If I'm in the car with my son, I try and put him in the front seat, but he's like, "No, you sit in the front with your husband." I'm like, boy, I need to sit in the back seat. Okay. I don't want to see what's going on. So my husband, he's a good driver, but I'm like, please, at this age, we are not in a hurry. We'll get there when we get there. Can you stay in the left lane? But it's like, I think the thing is, we made good timing. At this point in my age, I am not trying to make good timing.
But also, I understand what you're saying. And I'll just say that you're more on the right track, and that's a blessing. You're not always on that same track yet. However, Carmen, you do drive like a Zazie.
Yeah, I have been known. I got a ticket. I got pulled over almost because of me driving like Miss Daisy. So there has to be a happy medium. But sometimes, I mean, y'all don't always see me. I do also have times where I am, driving somewhere between you and my husband and my mother, because y'all some driving folks. So
Yes.
Go ahead. I know there's so much going on, but what do you?
I was supposed to. I gotta go out there and see what they did. They're doing the final thing on the thing.
Okay, the other thingamajigger.
Yeah.
All right.
So I still have more. Hopefully, I got one more phone call coming to. And of course, everything is happening.
On
When
a
it rains,
Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday. Yeah.
these are
Well,
phone calls that can. These are phone calls that cannot not take.
so what she said was, when it rains, it pours, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna revisit that movie Rain Man today. But so go ahead, you.
I
So
want to have the structure, but like I say, life happens. Life is
yeah,
happening. So let me
yeah,
just run out there and see see what they did.
yeah. Life be life in. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, mute me. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna take my video off and mute me too.
Gotcha. All right. So, anywho, let me go back to me again on this side. Make her. All right. So you know what? This is what you call being consistent, because she could have easily just canceled on me, and I would have been like, oh my gosh, not last minute. So the fact that she's dipping it in and out, sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. Um, so let's see. So I talked about self-care. We talked about the importance of having a good skincare program, and mine is called Arbonne, which is all natural, all blah 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 blah. But I will again put the link to that. And if you decide to go to the link, try the least expensive package for the first thing, and that includes a bag with some shake products, which is pea protein. So it has like 20 grams of protein per scoop. One scoop, I threw a scoop in there because I've been using it for a long time. And then it has they have the greens in there. If they don't have the greens, it has spirulina and all these different greens in there, which are superfoods. So I put one scoop of that, and then I have my own moringa. So I put moringa in my shake, and then collagen. Have your own collagen. And so the collagen that I'm using, which is in my TikTok shop, is 18 grams of protein in that collagen. So as we get older, they say collagen, of course, is good for your skin, your hair. It's also good for a lot of other things. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But so make sure you put some collagen in your shake also. So that's what I do. I start my morning off with something warm, even if it's just warm water or some tea. And then I'll have my shake after I finish doing my live. And after that, I'll have like 2 boiled eggs, because they say soft boiled eggs are actually higher in protein than, you can Google that yourself. But that higher, two soft boiled eggs are higher in protein than if you were to, have hard boiled eggs or whatever. So I do that because I just want to make sure I have enough protein. And so for me, I'm aiming for 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then for snack, I will also have at least 10 or so I can equal it all out. But again, each of us, our numbers and whatever our goals are going to be different. But just check into that part of it. So you got the skincare, that's important. Check that out. And then writing yourself up a little, what you're going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And have your snacks even prepared. For right now, I'm out of apples, but like I said, eating a half of avocado as far as protein and fiber. You might Google it and say, "Oh my gosh, that's not a whole lot," but just eating a half of avocado per day, that's gonna do your body good. It even has good fats, but you just keep your fats low, right? So, what are some other things that I've been eating? Yogurt again, like I said, yogurt and cottage cheese. Now I love me some cottage cheese with pineapples, and I love cottage cheese with peaches. I grew up with a grandma she was in Virginia, and she just loved her cottage cheese with peaches. And so I grew up thinking that it wasn't a nasty or an odd thing, because to see her eat hers was like, okay, I can't wait to do that. So that's one of those snacks if you think that you're hungry. And I eat every night at 6 o'clock. I am like clockwork. I mean, I don't want to have my metabolism trying to digest this food, or eat anything extremely heavy. And sometimes if I've had a very heavy lunch, I'll have some some brothy soup for dinner, you know. But I do love if you check your cottage cheese, it might be like 80. I found one. It's 80 calories and it has like 12 grams of protein, or 11. And even my yogurt will have 11 grams of protein. Now you got to watch the sugar content in the yogurt, because even if it has a fancy, one of those fancy names or fancy name brands, they also can be high in sugar, which is, that would be messing up and defeating our whole purpose,
Mm-hmm.
So, so again, I was just re-emphasizing self-care, skincare, body care,
Mhm.
eating good proteins like the peaches and cottage cheese
Oh yeah.
that Nana used to have us, and then for I love yogurt too, but not as much as the cottage cheese, I guess. But and then for fiber, the other thing that I'm trying to keep in my refrigerator is berries, like all the berries, the strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and take a half a scoopful of those and put it into your smoothie in the morning.
Oh
So,
yeah. Also, I forgot to talk about. I want to talk about copper. We didn't talk about copper last time.
oh,
So
okay.
copper is actually the reason why copper. Most of the copper is actually in our hair. When we're deficient in copper, you get the gray hair. Copper
What?
equals gray. So we need to eat beef liver. Beef liver. There's a whole list of it. But beef liver was one of them. It'll come to me. I'll tell you on the next. Actually, let me just pull it up. See if I can pull it up now. You know, it's nothing like
Is that what? Because our mother could that woman
Oh,
could cook some liver, man.
oh,
We
honey.
didn't grow up. I have to say we didn't. I don't think we grew up hating liver because I know I didn't.
Onions and gravy, baby.
Girl, what?
Well,
Don't make me drive downtown right now to get me some beef. I guess it was considered liver. We just ate liver, but
yeah.
that and back then and mashed potatoes. Woo!
Mm.
So that's
Get the mashed potatoes just right with the butter and the milk. Ooh, salt, pepper, contain.
right now. I'm not eating any mashed potatoes, but if I do eat something, finally, all these sent us some nice size sweet potatoes. Now that's the thing too. So
Okay.
those are
Oh, that's what we're having tonight, sweet potatoes. So let me tell you. So copper-rich foods are forming. It says copper-rich foods are essential for forming red blood cells. It says maintaining the nerve, immune health, aiding iron absorption, all that good stuff. We need oysters and lobster and crab. We need organ meats like beef liver. We need nuts like cashews and almond seeds. We need sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, and dark chocolate. But I also know that spinach is another one on that list. So all those items actually help you get the copper. We're taking all these vitamins, but I mean, I know it seems like you have to consume a whole lot of food to get the nutrients we need nowadays.
mm-hmm.
But if we can start with just getting the foods we need and then do a little supplementation as opposed to just going all pill out, you know?
And I love nuts,
So,
but for right now, I'm staying away from them because it has a lot of it's good fats. Now, if we could just take
yeah.
one or two and eat them, and stay under that, but once you get the nuts in front of you, especially if it's the good ones like the pistachio and almonds are good for you too. And then
yeah.
what's
I actually had 4 Brazilian nuts is what you're probably talking about. Brazilian nuts
right?
is what I had earlier this morning.
The lady that I paid for her. She's a nutritionalist. She was saying like three Brazilian nuts per day. It's like keeps the doctor away type of thing.
Yeah.
They're really good in fat. So I was doing that for a little while too. But right now, yeah.
Also, shiitake mushrooms,
Okay, I love me some mushrooms.
chickpeas, whole grain, and green leafies.
All right. Now what made you Google copper?
Do you see all the gray I have in my hair?
I mean, and it's beautiful. Yes.
Thank you. And thank you, Lord. So it actually just happened to pop up on my feed. I don't be TikToking all day to live on it, but it happened to pop up. I went on and it happened to just pop up. And so I said, okay, but you know what? I'm gonna talk about that today. Because we talk about nutrition, we talk about our hair, we talk about so many things, like in this little sister circle. Sister circle, sister chat. So I definitely wanted to hit that, but I just could not believe. And it actually has like neat little diagrams, like in if you go to Google, it gives you nice images on things to eat.
Yes.
So,
And you know what? I love Pinterest. I'm not sure if you're a Pinterest person because my daughters are like Pinterest girls.
I used to be.
And you go in there. I'm sure I'll go in there try it today, and they'll give you a beautiful thing of copper of all the foods that are full of. And I like that. That's how I kind of raised my kids. Is I would put a picture or something on the refrigerator. These are foods that you should eat every day. Greens. These are your greens that you need to eat. And these are the things where you get your iron from. This is the thing that you get. So that's kind of. And then I raised them to read every label. So they knew that. Like, can I have this cereal? I said, if you could find a cereal that is family size and has less than 9 grams of sugar. They're like, that's so hard. I'm like, yeah, it is. It is very hard.
But nowadays, it's like there's so many more things we have to be concerned about. I mean, we know that sugar is like the devil. You know, it's like, you know, cancer loves it. You know, other things love it. You know, inflammation loves it, right? But we gotta be able to eat something. You know.
Well, for fun. So whenever they had a special occasion or a special something, their special day, I would let them pick out their own box. Say again. Say you're breaking up, and your picture just went out, and you're muted. Oh my goodness! All the above. I love it. I love this experience because we're live, and what can you do about it, right? And thank you. Let me check while she's doing that. Let me check to see. Let me just put a welcome in our box here. You know, we just kind of do what we do here. But yeah, and so go check me out on over on the TikTok. NubianQueen TV is where I am over there, and of course you're here, so you know that I'm NubianQueen Nation. So I'm not sure if I should kick her out and bring her back in. But those were definitely some good tips for the copper if you want to stay. Let's see, less gray. Is my mom and her sisters, though, they have some really beautiful gray hair. So I'm not afraid to have gray hair. But so she said for copper is beef liver, lobster, crab, shiitake mushrooms, nuts, dark chocolate. And I think she also said spinach, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I'll check back with her on that. Oh, she's out again. All right. So believe me, once you get to be over 50 and over 60, if you can just even halfway attempt what we're doing as far as staying live, then that's the key right there. But some other things that we wanted to talk about today was I think she said that when she's getting low on energy and stuff like that, she starts to put a little bit of Celtic salt in her smoothies or sprinkle it on her food. So that's another thing as far as bringing back some nutrients to you. And you know what? Just staying motivated. I was watching somebody else's video and they were talking about motivation and how, you know, sometimes it takes everything that we have within us to just stay motivated, you know? So what else did I want to talk about? Being intentional and being mindful. All right. And the other thing that we do, that won't be fun to talk about. She was talking about she had some things going on, so she had to clean up her house really fast, but I'll save that conversation for another time. So let's see what else I wanted to check off the list here before she pops in here. So you have to go back and check. I think it was last week or maybe even 2 weeks ago. There was we were talking about finances. And so that kind of got, a couple of views there as far as people being interested in high yielding accounts. And she was talking about not letting, and a lot of people have been talking about that. We're starting to get kind of savvy as far as not letting your money just sit in the savings account because it's only earning like pennies for real. And so she was saying, go and check out a high yield account. So I'll let her talk more about that. Let's see, here she comes again. All right. All right. So I love it. Just in fact, I said, you know what? When you're live, what can you do? I mean, life just be lifing, and we're being consistent. We didn't say, you know what, we're going to cancel this thing. No, we just going to keep it going and just pop in when you can. So just in time to, did you also say spinach as far as one of those things for copper?
Yes.
Okay, so I wrote that down too. So I reiterated. And then I was saying that I think 2 weeks ago or so you spoke about high yielding accounts, and I was saying how you need to touch back on that again.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that because I'm actually going on here right now to pull it up. Let's see here. And also, we also need to start looking into trust for our family. You know, we as people of color are really behind the curve when it comes to having trust. There are living trusts. I think we talked about that also. You know, there are different types.
We didn't touch on it very much, but yeah, keep talking about that. Or because I'm going to go. I think I just ordered a book and I'm going to grab it real quick. Go ahead. I can still hear you.
Okay, so let's see here. So what I have on my computer in my banking account is a certificate. And a certificate, I think that's what I was telling you guys to put your money in certificates as well. So with the certificate, right now you're getting anywhere from like 3.5 to maybe, I don't know, 4.1, 2, 3 if you're lucky, right? And so this is like my high yield savings account. So it's called it says okay, I'm actually in it, but I wanted to show you what it looks like. So let me go out of mine. Let's see if I can just pull it up. But like give you an idea, you know, you put in X amount of dollars, and when you're reaping, like depending on how much you put in there, is what you're going to get back. You know, so if you can just do, you know, 5, 10, 15, 50, 20, 100, 200, whatever you can to get yourself going. Now they all have like different time periods, you know, of course, but you got to start somewhere. You know, it's think about it. It's a burger, it's a hamburger, or it's a meal, you know, from somewhere. You know, if you can just, instead of having those meals, eat at home and put the extra money into the account.
Yeah.
You know,
for me, for me, it'd be an avocado.
Yeah, you have to have rainy day, right? And so this is like for me, I have one that I want to have the money accumulating just to continue to accumulate without having to have any kind of, you know, negative bouncing up and down. I'm not saying don't invest. I'm just saying that when you invest, you have highs and you have lows. You can't control that, right? But you can control how much money you put into your certificate, you know, or your CD every month or every week or however you want to do it. You know, so I'm not saying control is important. We can't have all our money in one pocket. You know, just like when they had that when the stock market dropped and everybody lost all that money. I don't know if it's 2008, whenever it was, they lost a lot of money. You know, and can't have all your eggs in one basket. Right. So for me, certificate is one way. I have another certificate that I have for a rainy day. Like right now, I'm going to need some rain. Because I had to do I ended up putting that, you know, there's no way I can just take that chunk of money out, you know, without penalties or whatever, you know. So I ended up doing a payment plan on it because if I pay it off before time, then I don't have to pay anything else, you know. And so those are I try to avoid interest rates as much as possible. You know, if they're going to offer me even balance transfer, if you have a balance transfer and it's got 0% to X amount a month, put that money on that balance transfer. And if you have to get another balance transfer and transfer that money onto that transfer and continue that 0% APR, because basically we're trying to keep as much money in our own pocket as we can. Okay, so I just didn't want to bypass that part. Let me see. I think I might have to log out and just do like a random pop in.
Where's your phone? Do it on your phone and then you can show us.
Well, I'm actually on my phone, so I'm just spin around the laptop, you know, kind of thing. But let's see, find out about.
You're gonna be able to do that without showing your personal stuff.
Yeah, that's why I logged out, because I want to be able to just show you what they have, what they offer, without actually, you know.
Oh, put the link in offering. Type the link in the comment section.
The link in set up features. The link for Navy Fed.
Oh no, okay. It's in Navy. Yeah. So what you're talking about is in Navy Fed.
This one's actually in Navy Fed. The other one I talked about was Security Federal Credit Union.
I'm gonna put that in the comment section.
Receive performance brochures. Let me check the brochures out because the brochure may have it.
Security what?
Security Federal Credit Union.
Oh, okay. Is it just online?
No, actually, but the thing is, it's only, I want to say indigenous. They have a trillion branches in Texas. They have them in Colorado, and they have them in, I want to say Utah or somewhere. So it's limited, but you can still do everything online. You can actually set the account up online, everything. You know, and then they actually have, if you need to talk to someone, you can talk to them virtually if you have to, or make a phone call. So you can still put the money in, you know, any way it goes. Okay, so let's see, certificate, education savings. Okay, that's education savings. They have IRA, Roth.
So where is it that you use that you have the 0% rate? If you want to share that, is that still on somewhere in?
So believe it or not, I had these checks come in the mail, and they came from it wasn't Bank of America, but it was like one of those large companies. Oh, Citibank. It was Citibank. Citibank offers transferable checks, transferable checks. So you can transfer whatever your balance is on something else onto that. And that's what I did. I kind of transferred onto that just so I could you know, enjoy that 0%, the 0 APR. But if you don't pay it off at a certain time, I mean, nowadays you can get 17, 25%, 25.99% because they want to get their money. You know, and a lot of people, 9 times out of 10, most people don't pay off their bills prior to that expiration date. But if you can pay it off, great. If you can't pay it off, get another check from another bank and transfer that stuff to where you don't have to pay. It's one way we can have relief as the average person, you know, for lack of a better word, you know. And I'm telling you, we got to figure out ways to keep money in our own pocket, you know.
Give me my money.
My money. So yeah, that part. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into my account. Oh, which closed me out. So come, let's go, Pico. Okay, so it's like it says, girlfriend, you took too long. I'm gonna need you to log back in.
And we're about 10-15 minutes from our
I swear this time has gone by so fast. But I'm not gonna say how the devil works, but you see how this life works, where everything that had to be done was done during our 1 hour. 1 hour a week, right?
7 days, however many hours are in a week, and we just wanted 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour. So also, if people go to my TikTok, this is the book I haven't even read it yet, which was kind of, we need to have a book club, a financial book reading club, Adjoa. So the only living trust this just came in.
I might have that book.
The only living trust book you'll ever need, and that was it was in my TikTok shop.
I have that book.
What? I just got it. Okay, so I just got it in the mail. Like this, my husband was like, if one more book comes in this mail, but look, we just need that. So we need to be.
We need to read it. He won't say nothing.
We need to be snowed in with. I'm not going to wish upon ourselves to be snowed in with no electricity, because everybody in this whole couple of blocks could be without electricity, and my house will be the only house with electricity. But I'm saying, if you have, you know what I'm saying, that's just God. People like, you're on the grid with the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm not. Because why is my neighbor? Why is his out? Are all around me? Everybody else is out, and I'm on. But
you're connected to Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So listen. So I found it. So they have one. It's called an Easy Start certificate. This is from Navy Federal Credit Union. It's an Easy Start certificate. It says as high as 3.70 APY. You have to put a minimum of $50 in the account. And I can't show you without.
I think you told me that like years ago, and I think I did it, and you got like a whole year, and I probably should have let it roll over another year, but I think not. But I think that's what.
Now watch. You gotta watch when you roll it over. Okay, so let me finish. So you have to have a $50 minimum deposit. This one is actually saying 12 to 24 months. So it depends on which kind of which one you get, because you have 3 month, 9, 12, 7, whatever, 10. So they're all different, and they all have different APYs. Okay, so this one, and also checking, because some of the certificates that you can get, it'll have an add button where you can add the you can add funds to it. It will say add funds, but then other ones will just, whatever you put in it is the amount that's going to be in there until the duration is actually up. So just okay. So yeah. So it depends, like I say, on which one you have. There's another one here, and it's called a standard certificate, and this one is as high as 3.8. For the APY, you have to have $1,000 in there to deposit, and that's 3 months to 7 years. You determine which one. You pick the one you want, right? So, and what I like about that is, like I say, some of them have that button where you can say add funds. Find out first before you actually get the certificate if you know you want to add money, each month or each week or whenever, because you can add it whenever you want to. That's the beauty of it. You can also take the money out. Like I said, it'll have a penalty, but depending on how much if you're not putting $100,000 in, I mean, even then it's not gonna be a whole heaping amount of money. It's still gonna be a decent amount to where you won't be like, leave it in. So penalty, schmelty, if you need the money, you need the money. But I use one for rainy day. I'm gonna use one for save, one to save in, and I listen. It's all about generational wealth, right? Long story, we gotta start somewhere. So if we don't have anything, if we can just learn to stop putting our money in the savings and checking, put enough in the checking account to pay for your bills, and then maybe any mishaps that may occur, and put that money, consider it a safety box, or a treasure box. Put that money in that treasure box because you
And,
might need it, and
and
they're paying you for it.
And can you imagine we were younger? Because even in
Yeah.
my 20s, we started doing some of these things and we knew about it.
Yes.
It's
Right.
like, pay yourself first. It's like, oh, I can't afford to pay myself first. And now 30, 40, 50 years later, it's like, should have paid ourselves first from
Exactly.
the very beginning, but now trying to teach our adult children to do the same thing, But yeah, so important. And,
It is.
I think, and right now we're going to stop. If there's anybody that's out there and you need a mental health check, you need to
Yes.
have a friend, we want to let you know that there's a lot going on. Think of our houses as being abundant. Like there's a lot of crazy stuff going on the outside, but because of the God that we serve, all of our households can be abundant, right? We speak
Right.
abundantly, we live abundantly,
Right.
and so yeah, so this is just a mental check. And if you need a friend and you need some prayer, reach out to us and we will definitely be praying for you. And we will, hopefully if we can reach back.
And long story short, put it in the chat. If we don't get to it today, and we see that you've actually said something, my sister will go over all the notes, and then we'll pray for you online if we need to. Whatever case is, we can pray individual. You tell us what you want, and we'll do it. But there is power in prayer. And long story short, is we want to be that conduit, between you and our Father. If we know that everybody should have their own relationship. Long story short, but there's power in prayer.
Exactly.
And so we want to be able to do that. Sometimes, and all I say, and sometimes, listen, sometimes we have to encourage ourselves, right?
Exactly.
So,
Do that too.
and yes. So you may not always have someone there, so you have to be able to encourage yourself. Just remember what God says about us. Everything the devil says you are, you're the exact opposite. If the devil says that you're worthless, God says that you are a treasure. If the devil says that you're nothing, God says that you are His cherished one. So these are things we have to remember. We are children of the Most High God, and no matter what trials we go through, we're still children of the Most High God, and we're not going through it alone. And it's easy to forget that sometimes. This morning, I'll give you an example. I woke up this morning early, and so I said, you know what, I have got to pray. When your heart is heavy, and there's nothing else for you to do. If I said, here's what the Spirit told me this morning while laying in bed, because I couldn't sleep. And sometimes the Holy Spirit will not let you sleep because you need to get up and pray, right? So here's what I heard, and I'm gonna call it the Holy Spirit because that's what I choose. You can call it whatever you want to, but I heard that if you won't praise me in the hard times, you're not gonna praise me when you're high on the hill. So this little lady got her fanny up at 5:30 in the morning, and at 5:30 ain't my friend. But when
my alarm goes off,
pray.
I've had mine set for 5:30 since I don't know, for the past few months, maybe since May of last year. And then I moved it to 5:00, and then I had nerve to sleep over, whatever. I still got up in time to do what I had to do, but I wanted to do much more before I went live. So if you're out there and you don't have a Bible study or whatever,
a prayer partner,
connect with me on TikTok at 7:00 in the morning. I get up at 5:30 so I can go into other people's rooms and bless them while they're praying and reading the Bible. And you know what? It does seem very, very boring to listen to the Bible, because believe me, I'd rather be reading something else. But if I skip over Leviticus, and if I skip over, what did you say, Matthew? If I skip over some of these chapters, that's not reading through the Bible in 1 year, right? You can't just, that's what a problem is with us right now as humans, is that we want to skip to the fun part. We want everything to be microwaved. But you know what?
But the more you read it, the more real and the more you want it, know? And it's funny, here's what, for myself, it's like the more I get excited about it, and the more I want to read, I swear, like this is how you know that you're on the right track when something about comes, and then all of a sudden 2 days go by, 3 days go by. It's like, something. Do not let anything deter you and throw you off of your path, But getting back to this morning when I woke up, did the prayer, got up, and started my day. We didn't talk about the cleanup. Did you talk about that?
No, I said it's so funny. We don't have. Well, let's save that for next week because
Okay,
I don't
so
want to go into it.
make sure you have it written down. I'll write it down too. But we'll did the
Look,
prayer.
these are my notes on the back of the envelope.
Yes, you're not playing. So, but I put the music on because sometimes you just need the music to get your day going, right? And I have here written down that God made my prayer list today. So he made me a prayer list. I put on Pandora, and it just seemed like every song that came on was for me, right? And you pick and choose it. I know we only have like 5 minutes left, but I'll just say that the first song was Up From Here, right? Because sometimes you just feel down, and it's like you feel like, what is next, right? So the first song came up, it was Up From Here.
I want to hear. I want to hear it because I haven't even heard of. I haven't used Pandora in years, and
girl,
all my family members, they all had Pandora subscriptions with no commercials, and I didn't. I'm like, I'm not paying for no commercials, so I haven't listened to them in a long time.
Well, guess what? We're going. If you want to go over my list, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 songs. So I'll play. So I can play one song, and then if you want,
Up From Here by who?
It's going to be a Sherwin Gardner.
Okay, Google, play Sherwin Gardner Up From Here.
All right, playing Up From Here by Sherwin Gardner on Spotify.
Is it? Okay, Google, stop.
It's a different version. Okay. But yeah, but long story short is that's the singer. Different version though. So that was the one, Up From Here. Present Helper came up. Take the Lead was the next song. All Along, like the Lord is here, God was with you all along, right? All along.
Okay.
The next song was Greater Is Coming.
Okay.
I Got It. In other words, God's got it.
Okay.
And that's what I gotta put that on my playlist too. God's got it.
how'd you wrote them all down, or do you have my phone used to have Google Music where it would play and it would tell you the song of each I don't know. It was like if I was in the elevator and music was playing, it would tell me what played in the elevator.
Oh, Soundhound. Is that like a Soundhound?
It was by Google. I don't know, but I switched phones, so this one doesn't have it. I need to find that app or whatever.
I like Pandora because Pandora is free, right? Yeah. So that part. But once it knows, like any other music outlet, they know your algorithm, so they're all popping up. But like I say, God, but however, although algorithm, yes, I'm saying God made my playlist.
Yeah, I need to go back to them. So you need to send me that list. Is it a picture or a screen?
I wrote it down, and it's really, really messy, so I won't show you. So I'll probably type it in and send it to you. Okay. So I said, God, I said I got it, and praise, lift him up. Praise, lift him up. Jah, arise. Okay. Declare and decree. Present Helper was the one I told you about earlier, and Take It All, Jesus, from Papa San.
All right, you gotta send me that. You gotta have to send me that playlist some kind of how. There's a way to do it, I guess, from friends, but I need to go resubscribe. But we are actually at our hour, and we just totally appreciate. This has been a different kind of day, but we still got a lot in, and hopefully my sister will go back over and watch it. I need to rewatch it so I can go back and edit it. I haven't been editing. But the other thing that I want to say in closing, because we talked a little bit about finances, we talked about health, we talked about self-care, copper. I thought you were going to suggest us to get a copper bracelet. I'm not sure if that actually helps, but I know a lot of people here. I thought so. And have an emergency fund, people. And I know that sometimes you can have an emergency fund, $1,000, $1,500, because I know Dave Ramsey suggested $1,000. But honey, we need to get that emergency fund up to where if you have a water heater that breaks, a car that breaks down, you need to have at least 10,000, 15,000. We need to just keep going.
Exactly.
And build it up, because when things are crashing, things are going crazy around us. Like my sister was told back in 2020, we won't use the word COVID. Prices went up and they never came back down.
Yep.
So
and that's exactly what I was talking about. There's two gentlemen that actually was working on it. But they were saying that COVID was like the blessing for all companies. You know what I'm saying?
Business
They
people.
all business. Yeah, they brought the prices up and never brought them down, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. So that concludes our today. We totally appreciate you being here. For those who, if you stay to the end, God bless you. God bless you. And let us be your mental check. Your is that what they call health check, mental check, whatever, mental health check.
Yes.
We want to be that for you. And we're Sister Circle. We're going to call it Sister Circle, Sister Chat. And God bless you. And thank you for being here. Peace, love, and blessings. Oh, we never even said our name. So this is Sister Chat, Sister Circle. I'm Nubia.
And I'm Ajua.
And we are so happy that you're here. And what do we do here? We do peace, love, and blessings. God bless you. Thank you. Let me see if I can do a screenshot because we never give you a strike. I like that. I need to work on that also. Let me see. All right. I don't know. Hopefully that was a screenshot.
You're still alive. You're still alive. I'm working on my what I call that face?
Resting face. Yeah. The young kids will call it resting bee face, but yeah, resting face.
Yeah, what is called the resting face part?
Yeah. But we appreciate you guys being here. Catch up with us tomorrow, next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern at 12 Central, right?
Tomorrow. Let's see. My schedule says good.
All right then. I don't know. We've been on the same spot for like, I think it's almost been 2 years. I haven't even been able to go back and take a look. But anyway, I don't really want to move it. But peace and blessings. Give our dad hugs and kisses from me. And I need to talk to you later on so we can order your stuff and stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. Love you guys. Peace and blessings. Love you guys. Ciao for now.